What up, you guys? Welcome back. Here we go. So when I first went into this series, right, I had an intention to highlight three. What's up, Bubba? Three negative traits, I guess. Three negative traits of Virgo, and the ones that relate to myself. But today's a new day, so I woke up, I'm like, man, I don't really want to drag this on for 3 days. And with that being said, this leads me to the second trait, me being overly critical, not only of myself, but everything. My mind's always thinking, right? Thinking about the next move or a move. So that is probably, me being overly critical is probably one of, if not the worst trait, I think, for myself. Depending on the situation, right? If I don't check these thoughts or that thought immediately, it can backfire. Like I said yesterday, it could kind of put a halt in my progress, and I may have to abort the mission or abort the plan, as I am with this series right here, right? All the information's out there, so it's online. If you guys are curious about your traits, your positive and your negative traits, it's pretty interesting to look at. You might find some that you agree with, and you might find some that have nothing to do with you. So that's out there. But I started this series, so I'm just gonna finish it right here. I'm gonna go over two. One, being overly critical. So what that looks like is, if somebody is doing something, right? Like if I'm at work or whatever, if they are doing something and what they're doing doesn't go according to me, then I judge their ability, judge their actions, and that can lead to me criticizing them. Not really in a negative way, like, damn, you're a fool, nothing like that. But I might speak up on their action and voice my opinion, hey, do it this way, try this way. And some people might not like that, I really don't do stuff like that at inappropriate times. It's mainly like small stuff or at work, you know what I mean? And I'm only like trying to help, I'm only trying to help. But a lot of people, it could be discouraging to them, I'm sure that could come off as me like nitpicking, you know what I mean? But deep inside, like, I'm only trying to help. I'm only trying to resolve this issue. I'm only doing this to make things easier for them. I don't know why I do it, man. It's just like, as I said yesterday, right? I like order. I like when things go correct. Sure, it's nice when things go correct, right? But it's more pleasing to me, I guess, when things go right. My intention, behind the internal judgment, my intention behind criticizing them, it's not meant to hurt them. So don't think that. If you're around a Virgo and they kind of point something out, you know, just let that situation be. Take what they're saying into consideration. If it works, apply it. If you don't want to act on it, hey, say it or just don't do it, right? Like we often miss out. I'm sorry. We often notice certain details that others might be missing out on, right? I'm very visual. And when I see things, I'm processing them. So we notice flaws. You know, we notice the flaws. And if it needs correcting, man, you know, we correct it at that time or at a later date. And during that time until the later date, you know, that is on our mind. So with all that being said, you know, our intentions, my intentions are always solid for everybody. We could come across as judgmental and fussy to some. So, I mean, there's very ways, you know, I could be overly critical, and some might see it as like wasted energy, you know. I guess you could say we sweat the small stuff, but while doing that, we do it with purpose, you know. I really don't like using we statements, but I know this topic right here is you know, one for Virgos. Two, I'm trying to show you guys like how I function, and you might see that in some of the content, you know, that I do. Um, so, you know, there's that. One other way, one other trait, you know, that some might notice, right? I've gotten a comment back in the day, a few months ago or something like that, shortly after I started recording, making videos. Someone said, try loosening up, you know, try loosening up. And, you know, they're basically saying like you're wound too tight. I agree. I agree. You know, I am not the most entertaining guy. I'm very analytical. And as I said before, I like when things go a certain way. So while I'm on these videos, you know, I kind of want them to go a certain way. You know, sometimes I'll write like an outline, like a blueprint of the video. I really don't like doing that because my flow doesn't come off as natural. I wrote down a few notes for these, but I'm trying not to read them because I will start reading them verbatim, and it's not as natural, you know. So, but it's in regards to like loosening up, being wound too tight, you know, I could definitely relate to that. But like while I'm doing something or giving a presentation of some sort, my mind is in overdrive, just like it is right now. You know, always thinking about what I'm saying and always thinking about the next statement because I mean what I say. So it's a trip, man. It's a trip. It's a real trip. As I said, I don't do the whole horoscopes thing. It's kind of like it's about as useless as a fortune cookie. Sure, it might make you think, but when it comes to the actual zodiac, it's a trip, man. If you haven't checked out your zodiac sign, you know, Virgo, Scorpio, Aries, Taurus, all that, right? Give it a look sometime, you know. See if those traits correlate with yourself, you know. It's a trip, man. So this is going to be the last video on this little series here. Kind of random, but I went into this with a purpose, and I wanted to fulfill the obligations, right? I was going to do one more video tomorrow, but you know, I already have another video in mind, and it's going to be kind of funny. It's going to be kind of funny. So I don't want to spoil it just yet. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good July 1st, good Saturday. Try and loosen up a little, all right?